In the last month, the CFIA in Canada have published and updated regulations for Canadian feed in terms of maximum limits for some nutrients in swine diets. And they've been reviewing these and considering this update, and that resulted in these final publication of the new regulations, because the last regulations were from 1983. And so the Canadian industry recognized that there was a need to update these limits on some of the nutrients and for swine nutrition, and particularly vitamin D is one of those that's important in the new regulations, having been updated from a maximum limit of 1,500 international units of vitamin D per kilogram of diet, increasing that to 3,500 international units of vitamin D3 as a maximum per kilogram of diet for swine. The new regulations, which are allowing for the increased maximum of vitamin D3 per kilogram of diet in swine feed, being able to have that increase to 3,500 international units from 1,500, I think is going to be extremely beneficial to the swine industry in Canada, because in the last decade or 15 years, there have been cases in the U.S. and in Canada where pigs have been found to have insufficient vitamin D status. And as more research has been conducted in this area, it's quite evident that just supplementing even at 1,500 international units of vitamin D per kilogram of diet does not provide pigs with a status that's been deemed sufficient by the veterinary community and animal health specialists in terms of their vitamin D status. With this updated regulation with the Canadian authorities, with the maximum of 3,500, that's actually a good level for a maximum if you're using a combination of 25-hydroxy D3 as the form of vitamin D that you're supplementing, using that metabolite in the feed at an equivalent of 2,000 international units per kilo of diet has been found to sort of be the optimum. And actually research with that in addition to up to 1,500 international units of the traditional vitamin D3 cholecalciferol per kilogram of diet. That combination to get to 3,500 has actually been shown in the research to more often give the sort of optimum outcomes. Trying to do that with just D3, you will not get as much of an improvement in status, and that's because vitamin D3 is if you're using that source alone, you're not going to get the serum levels that are associated with healthier or optimum outcomes by just doing it with D3 alone. 25-hydroxy D3 is the form of vitamin D that's actually used as a reference to determine status in circulation of pigs, and that's because it's probably the most efficient way of providing vitamin D. Vitamin D3 has to be metabolized, hydroxylated in the liver and converted to 25-hydroxy D3. And by feeding 25-hydroxy D3 directly, you basically eliminate that added step of the conversion, which may not be the most efficient way to obtain vitamin D. If you want to learn more about the importance of vitamin D in swine nutrition or other species, as a science-based company, dsm-firmenich has an extensive history of being involved in the science of vitamins, and especially vitamin D in recent times. And so don't hesitate to reach out to your dsm-firmenich account managers